Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, Bandits. It's drafting season. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about strength of schedule for the playoffs. Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? We're talking about practice? No, we're talking about playoffs today. And what teams you want to target based on the positional advantages and strength of schedule for each running back, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. We're going to see if we can draft some of those teams that I want to target. But first, we're going to hop into our intro. At Best Ball Bandit here, my name is Eddie. I've been playing best ball for over 20, fantasy football for over 23 years, and best ball the last 3 years. I started this channel about 3 weeks ago. My dog's name is Bandit. It felt like it was a perfect fit. And we're going to start off with his intro.
Oh.
All right. Welcome back. We're going to hop into a Best Ball Mania draft. Let's see what pick we get. And my dog's barking in the background. Bandit's excited as well. It's drafting season. What's not to be excited about? And we're going to see what pick we get. We've been getting a lot of the back end, which I actually like. If I don't get the first 4 picks, I don't mind getting, later on in the draft, anywhere from, ideally, I want like 8 through 10, because I do want to get Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or CeeDee Lamb. But, I definitely don't mind going running back either. So some of the teams based on positional rankings that I am going to be targeting, I noticed that, and I'm going to pull up here the strength of schedules, but I noticed that Derrick Henry has a nice favorable schedule during the playoffs. Mark Andrews as well. Wide receivers for the Bengals, I'm going to target Jamar Chase and Higgins. Tyler Warren for tight end. Jonathan Taylor as well with the Colts. And then a couple other teams, the Saints and the Browns, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers as well. So it is different week 1 through 14 compared to week 15 through 17 for the strength of schedules. Week 1 through 14, Saquon Barkley has a very favorable schedule. But then in the playoffs, week 15 through 17, he's one of the lowest ranked running backs as far as a strength of schedule. He's ranked 28 out of 32. So you definitely want to be mindful and pay attention to the strength of schedule, not just in the regular season, but also for the playoffs, which is playoffs, the most important part. That's what we're talking about here at Best Ball Bandit. We're going to steal some drafts. We're going to steal some value. We're going to draft fast. And we'll have some fun. We're always going to have some fun on this channel. Been drafting a lot this season. I'm, I think, at close to 170 drafts, I want to say. Still got a lot to go. I think this might be my 49th Best Ball Mania. So I want to draft about 50 teams by the end of May, which is coming up here. So I'll probably only draft a couple more Best Ball Mania drafts, and then 50 between June and July, and then 50 between August and September. Last year, I did get a little bit of draft fatigue. I drafted a lot early on, and by August timeframe, mid-August, I was already a little spent, but I don't want to make that mistake this year. So I will be drafting a little bit more, I don't want to say slower, but more cautious, and really see, news throughout training camp, news throughout preseason, what players I should be targeting based on if they're starting or not. So we're going to play it a little bit smarter this year when it comes to drafting, and I do want to spread out my drafts throughout. Let's play a little music here, and let's wait till we fill this draft. We need a couple more to fill. About 3 more people to fill. All right, so still 3 more to fill. So just going back to the strength of schedule, I'm going to highlight some of the players that I want for quarterback. So quarterback, I like value picks. So the Rams, Matthew Stafford, Vikings, Kyler Murray, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, New Orleans, Tyler Shuck, the Giants, Jackson Dart, Cleveland also, get a little Deshaun Watson. I mean, so that right there is 6 quarterbacks that I definitely like that are all in the later part of the draft. And I'll sprinkle in some Aaron Rodgers. He's ranked 11th. Also, Dak Prescott ranked 12th. And then the one I've been drafting the most has been Jordan Love. He's ranked 14th. And I have been drafting a ton of Patrick Mahomes, and he's 29th. So that's not great, but he's Patrick Mahomes. So I'm hoping that doesn't really affect him too much. For regular season, Mahomes is a little bit higher. He's 23rd, but once again, we care about the playoffs here. So the draft did fill, and what do you know? Number 11, which is, it's pretty standard on this channel, but we're hoping that the winner comes from that back end. The winning drafter comes from the back end of the draft. So I don't think Justin Jefferson's going to fall to me. So I think I'm going to go Derrick Henry. I'm going to pull him up. And I think Omari Hampton to do a little different. I'm going to check again here, some strength of schedules. Baltimore 5th for running back in the playoffs. Chargers 10th, so I definitely like those two. I could also pull up Jeremiah Love. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Derrick Henry and Omari Hampton. James Cook doesn't really have a favorable schedule, so I don't like him too much. Barkley either. Kenneth Walker either. Genty's not horrible, but not great. Chase Brown is another option. But we got to switch it up. I definitely want to change it up and not just pick based on ADP. We're going to go Omari Hampton. And we're going Derrick Henry. Two offenses that I definitely want to bet on. Genty, I like getting Mike Washington later on. James Cook, he just doesn't have a favorable playoff schedule. Achane, that offense is going to be rough. Kenneth Walker's, that offense is going to be rough. Chase Brown, I do like, but it's tough to get some of those players tied together to Chase Brown later on. So I like the option of Derrick Henry and Omari Hampton. So I started at running back. I might go 2 more running backs, depending on who falls. I might go T. Higgins and Zay Flowers. I'm going to share their board. Let's do that first. I like pulling up those players because it does allow for unique pairings. So in the playoffs, the Ravens play Steelers, Browns, Bengals. So week 17, I definitely like. Week 15 and 16, I definitely like because they should be up on the Browns and they should be running the ball. Same thing with the Steelers. And the Chargers are playing the 49ers, the Dolphins, and the Chiefs. So those are all favorable games as well. Should be high scoring or should be beating up on the Dolphins. If Rashee Rice or Josh Jacobs fall, I'm getting either one of those. Or either one of those. Either? Tomato? Yeah. All right, so Neighbors goes. Josh Allen goes. Some players that I'm full on fading. Devontae Smith. I don't think I've drafted any Devontae Smith. Kyron Williams, I'm not drafting at all anymore after the news that he's going to be splitting time with Blake Corum. Okay, so Olave and Rashee Rice both go, and Zay Flowers. Wow. Okay, Josh Jacobs is there. Their drafter behind me did draft 2 running backs. I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. I wanted T. Higgins, but I mean, I can't really pass up on Josh Jacobs there. He could potentially not be suspended, play every game, not be cut. So it's just too much value there to give up on. I wanted T. Higgins, but that was a gamble that I took. I might go back-to-back Kyron after talking all that. Don't like Kyron talk. The Rams, as I mentioned, do have a favorable schedule. And T. Higgins is still there. Let me see the Rams. I went T. Higgins. I almost clicked on Kyron and it didn't allow me to, so that was a sign. I like this start. We got Amari Hampton, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, and T. Higgins. 3 stud running backs that could hit the lineup every week. And then we're going to build out the wide receiver room and just stack up on wide receivers. I have correlation with Derrick Henry and T. Higgins for week 17, so that's amazing. Josh Jacobs, once again, who knows what's going to happen with him. But I do like the Packers. They're playing the Dolphins, Bears, and Texans. So I can definitely pair them with some Bears later on or some Texans later on as well. Dolphins, we're not really looking at any Dolphin players. Although the Dolphins, for the playoffs, which is what matters, they do have a favorable schedule. I want to say, let me go back to it, but I want to say, actually they don't, so no Dolphins. Take that back. Not favorable. Wow, so I got a huge fall on Josh Jacobs. So you know what that means? We're gonna sound the siren. Josh Jacobs, ADP of 27.6, got him at pick 35. Let's go. I can stack him with Jordan Love later. I can stack T. Higgins as well, or Amari Hampton. So quite a few options we got coming up. Would love it if Lamar Jackson falls to me, or Rome Odunze would get any one of those two. Christian Watson as well. Joe Burrow. Let's see. Joe Burrow. That's a tough click for me. I don't think I've drafted any Joe Burrow, so I should probably get some Joe Burrow. Have Joe Burrow. The Bengals, 19th overall. I mean, so not great. Could be worse though. They are playing Panthers, Colts, Ravens. I like that. All right, let's wait and see. I haven't been clicking Judkins. If he falls, I might click him. I do like me some DeAndre Swift. I just went. Been drafting a lot of him. Lamar Jackson just goes to the Zay Flowers drafter. That's tough. I really wanted him to pair with Derrick Henry. I like seeing green on the board when I draft 3 running backs in a row. Gets me excited. All right, so all the players that I wanted went. Rome Odunze, Lamar Jackson, and I am on the clock, and there's nobody that I really like right now. So I'm going Jordan Tyson. Instead, I want to get some more New Orleans Saints players, so I'm going to go with Jordan Tyson. The Saints have a favorable schedule. They play the Bucks, Cards, and Falcons. I have not been drafting barely any Tootin. I don't know if that's good or bad. But I'm going to go Brian Thomas. Nope, I went Joe Burrow. Didn't make it in time. All right, Joe Burrow stacked with T. Higgins. Don't hate it. Got an elite quarterback. I can get Tyler Shuck later on. I got 3 elite running backs. And then I'm just going to stack up on wide receivers now. So one of Jaden Reed, Cortland Sutton. Could go double tap Justin Herbert, RJ Harvey. I'm either going to go Herbert or Harvey if they're available. Because there's not really a whole lot of wide receivers that I like there. And that's the problem of going quarterback early. But I haven't really gotten any Joe Burrow. I got him accidentally. I was trying to go Brian Thomas Jr. I had him queued up though. And Brian Thomas Jr. went right after me. But it's all good. We got Joe Burrow, and he is a phenomenal quarterback, so not too upset about that. I'm going to load up on a lot of tight ends, a lot of good tight ends, and another good running back if I can. So that way I'm guaranteeing that those are going to fill the flex position. So then I only need 3 wide receivers to start and just get 9 wide receivers on this team. So the drafts are behind me. I got to see what he's doing. He has Luther Burden, Tedoroy McMillan, Cook, Marvin Harrison. Okay, so he shouldn't. Wow, Jaden Daniels to the Lamar Jackson drafter as well. So he shouldn't go, you would think. I mean, but you never know. Justin Herbert. One pick away. There's somebody I really want. And let's see if I can get him. All right, so Courtland Sutton does fall to me, which is amazing. I needed some wide receivers in this room. Denver Broncos, they're playing Raiders, Bills, and Patriots. Denver doesn't have a bad schedule for wide receivers, but it's not great. So Herbert does go to the drafter behind me, naked Justin Herbert right now. I mean, they can stack him with somebody later on, but... And he goes Michael Wilson, which is another player I was debating on taking. Michael Pittman, welcome to the team. I don't mind reaching. I like Michael Pittman, and it allows me to get an additional stack later on. But what it also allows me is some correlation. So Pitt does have the 8th easiest schedule for wide receivers. And once again, some of the teams that I'm drafting, Pittsburgh is going to be playing Ravens, which I have Derrick Henry, and in week 15. So it was a little bit of both that I like there. And it gives me a unique pairing later on. I might be able to get Bo Nix, J.K. Dobbins, Xavier Worthy, Kyle Pitts, Matthew Golden, Jordan Love. We got options, people. We got options. No need to panic. I'm not bugging out. I'm not bugging out. I'm bugging out. I'm bugging out. No, I'm not. All right, Aaron Jones, I also like. Queuing up a lot of people there. All right, we are going to still get a player that we like with the next pick. So I'm happy about that. We're 11 picks away. I was pick number 11 in the draft. Let's see what happens. So some of the teams that don't have favorable schedules. So for quarterbacks, the Jets, Dolphins, 49ers, Chiefs, Eagles, Commanders, and Bo Nix are the bottom teams. For running backs, bottom teams based on strength of schedule in the playoffs: Commanders, Chiefs, Niners, Titans, Eagles, Bucks, Bills. For wide receivers, bottom teams are Niners, Jets, Patriots, Eagles, Dolphins, Chiefs. So we want to try to avoid those teams as much as we can. All right, we're 3 picks away. And Worthy just goes, Mahomes goes, Dobbins goes, Pitts, a couple of those names that I mentioned. I haven't really gotten Jacoby Myers, and I'm not going to get Jacoby Myers. I think I'm going to go Matthew Golden. Going Matthew Golden, doing a bet on the Packers. doing a bet on a second-year breakout, and I compare him with Jordan Love. I do like Aaron Jones a lot. But we're going Jordan Love. I'm stopping at 2 quarterbacks. I'm going to get 3 tight ends. Stopping at 5 running backs. At 7. 3 tight ends is 5 and 2 quarterbacks. 7, 3 tight ends is 10. And then we're doing 8 wide receivers. Somebody I haven't been drafting a lot of is Travis Hunter. If he's there on the comeback, I will be drafting him. I think it's a nice fit for this wide receiver room. Some upside. And they have a favorable schedule for the playoffs. So for wide receivers, they're ranked number 5. I could have gone Jacoby Myers there, and I went Jordan Love instead. I'm not a huge Jacoby Myers fan. They got Brian Thomas Jr. on the team. I think he's going to stay on the team. They got Parker Washington. And then Travis Hunter, I would say, is a 3rd wide receiver, not Jacoby Myers. I mean, they drafted Travis Hunter extremely high in the draft. So I think they're going to play him. I know they said originally just defensive back, cornerback, but I think he is going to be, moved in that wide receiver spot as well. So this is not my usual build. I usually wait on quarterback a little bit more. You sacrifice the other positions, but I do have 5 serviceable wide receivers, 3 great running backs if Josh Jacobs plays, and 2 great quarterbacks. So I'm only really sacrificing the tight end position, and I feel like I could still get some good tight ends later on and get 3 of them. One of Isaiah Likely, if he's available. Where's the Jackson Dart Drafter? Jackson Dart Drafter is picking right now. Okay, so I believe Isaiah Likely should follow me. For tight ends, strength of schedule for them, we haven't talked about tight ends. One of the ones that I've been drafting a lot of, Mark Andrews. He is number 2, strength of schedule. So you got to love that. Isaiah Likely is number 21. So not great, but not horrible. I just feel like they're going to feature him a lot in the beginning of the season. Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, and Jake Ferguson go. And I'm almost on the clock. So let's see what I'm going to be picking. I'm going to go Travis Hunter first. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of drafting in the 11 hole. I feel like you don't get a lot of value that comes back to you. I'm going to go Likely. I was debating to go Shakir. I don't draft him at all, but I don't like him, so I'm not going to draft him. I don't care how much his value is. He was at a huge discount. Shakir has an ADP of 128. And he went 136, so not a huge discount. Sorry. All right, so I'm not loving this team. I'm gonna be quite honest, but we're doing what we do here. We're staying positive. We're gonna keep the momentum going. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers, 3 running backs, 2 quarterbacks. We got our team stacked. We got correlation. So we're doing it the right way. Let's see any teams that I do like. I like the Puka drafter. I'm not a Jaylen Warren fan, but I do like his 4 wide receiver start. He got Ladd McConkey pretty late there. This room has just been a little bit of a different draft strategy. And I started off with Amari Hampton and Derrick Henry, so that's not your traditional start. So I think I messed up the room. Yeah, there's not a lot of teams that I actually like. So my team's not too bad off. I just wish I had a little bit better of wide receivers. I'm actually happy I went T. Higgins and not Cameron Williams where I did. That actually worked out. I like that McCaffrey drafters team. So he went McCaffrey, not a huge early tight end fan, as you all know. But then Rashee Rice, he fell. Kyron fell. And then Devontae, Mekhi Lemon, Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin. And he was able to get Mahomes and Kelsey. Yeah, that's a nice start. All right, so you see a lot of quarterbacks going off the board. Malik Willis, Stroud, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, and Cam Ward. Hunter Henry just goes. I was thinking of getting him. But there is somebody that I like a little bit more that hopefully is there. Another tight end that I've been getting a lot of is TJ Hawkinson. And he is the number 4 tight end strength of schedule. So he's definitely on our radar. Brenton Strange. And the Saints. Let's see where they're at. Yeah, Saints definitely. Whoa, and all these tight ends go. All right, we're pivoting. We're getting Isaiah Pacheco. Wow, all the tight ends that I wanted went right before. All right, so TJ Hawkinson, welcome to the team. This is definitely not a standard team that I draft, but what are you gonna do? I like drafting the running backs on great teams that if the starter goes down, you have a great handcuff, Isaiah Pacheco being one of them. Another one that I'm high on as well is, let's see if we can get him. Well, actually, I don't think we're going to get him because he's drafted already. Is Brian Robinson, just went to Atlanta. This is a weird team for me, very weird. I'm not good on tight ends. I'm not really great on wide receiver either, nor running back. So it's quarterbacks are good. I don't like going quarterback early, and that's the reason why. If I didn't go Joe Burrow there, I would have gotten Brian Thomas Jr., and that makes my team a lot better. Because then I have Brian Thomas Jr., T. Higgins, Jordan Tyson, Sutton, Michael Pittman, Matthew Golden, Jordan Love, and I could have, added another quarterback after Jordan Love. Or if not Golden, I go Trevor Lawrence instead of Pittman. But yeah, I don't really love the quarterback early. But I don't have any Joe Burrow. I mean, I need to get some shares. I don't need to, but he is a great quarterback, and they play the Ravens week 17, so I definitely want some shares. It's tough for him to fall all the way back to Jamar Chase. But getting him with T. Higgins, I'll take that. All right, so we're battling here. We're gonna go more wide receivers, and we might go a tight end. So right now we have 6 wide receivers. I'm going Pat Freiermuth. I'm going with the Muth, the Fountain of Muth. I like that one because the draft behind me only has 1 tight end. And then I pair him also with Michael Pittman Jr. And I think I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk. I was really tempted there to go Sean Tucker. We're going to go Jordan James. Later on, Chris Brazzell. Chris Brooks. I'm going to queue those guys up. All right, so the team right now is we got Omari Hampton, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs. Some unique pairings with Omari Hampton and Derrick Henry that normally go at the middle of the second round. We got T. Higgins, Jordan Tyson, Joe Burrow, Courtland Sutton, Michael Pittman Jr., Matthew Golden, Jordan Love, Travis Hunter, Isaiah Likely, Pacheco, Hawkinson, Muth, and Brandon Ayuk. I definitely have a lot of wide receivers. I just need them to give me 15 points each on a weekly basis. So T. Higgins, Jordan Tyson, Courtland Sutton, Michael Pittman, can those guys give me, 15 points? And then, that's 45. Then I get another, call it 50 from my running backs. That's 95, another 20 from my quarterback. That's 115, and another 10 from tight end. That's 125. I think that gets us in the playoffs. Playoffs. So we were basing it on strength of schedules today, and that's what we did. We stuck to our game plan. We didn't get all the players we wanted, but we definitely stuck to the game plan. Muth is number 19 for tight ends, so that's not horrible. TJ Hawkinson is number 4, so we like that. And yeah, we're gonna see how we close it out here. It's been a lot of wide receivers that we're taking. Going Jordan James. And I can either go running back or wide receiver. And I go Bateman. He's not getting drafted a lot. And I mean, right now he's the number 2 wide receiver. On the Ravens, I have the bet with Derrick Henry. I have the bet with the Week 17 matchup. So we got Bateman, we got Joe Burrow, we got T. Higgins, we got Derrick Henry. We're hoping that game is a shootout. All right, y'all. So that is the team. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all learned about week 15 through 17, what players to get, what teams to avoid. And as I mentioned, drafting every day in May. Hope you all have a great evening. And please subscribe, please like. I really appreciate it. Trying to grow the channel, trying to get to 100 subscribers. I currently have about 29, so I'd really appreciate if you click and subscribe and like. And I also have my website, bestballbandit.com. It has all my rankings, player takes, correlation, stacks. I won the Pointer last year, first out of over 20,000, 10th in the puppy. 10th in the Chow Chow, and 2 teams for the puppy in the final. So I would appreciate it if you like, subscribe, and yeah, if you want to also subscribe to my website, it's $39.99 for the year. And I'll see you all tomorrow.